very much for being here. I might say a few ums here and there, but thank y'all for, this is a little bit more than last year. If it grows at the rate that it did last year to this year, then look out in 2015, because this is pretty impressive, and want to thank y'all for supporting coming out. And Mesquite, Nevada, as you keep hearing people say that, but when I speak to people about the possibilities of where this whole event can go, your name comes up and in my presentations and say that the community's behind it, and I think I see that when I see this tonight. Someone was asking me earlier how many people might show up, and I was saying maybe 50. I think we beat that pretty easily tonight. So that's pretty amazing. I'm gonna obviously Dean Jarvis, you hear his name a lot, but he is the driving energy and force, and the one who had the vision to start this, and his energy to go into what he's doing is pretty plausible. So all the applause he gets is well received. I'm going to do my best to get through speaking a little bit. I'm a very emotional person, so I will probably be emotional. So if I pause, you're going to have to just deal with it for a minute, because I'm going to have to deal with it. I'm not bad. I mean, I work a tremendous amount with wounded soldiers and Marines as much as I can, and so I have to tell them before I have to speak in front of them or do a clinic, if I break down, I'll take any of you on any minute. Just let me be for a few minutes. That's just me having to be a man, if you will. That's the testosterone, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me real quick. I don't like to talk about me at all, but the reason I'm going to say this is because of the perspective that I think it puts on my passion for what's going on here. And that is that I've been playing golf since I was 7, I'm 47 years old now, so 40 years I started playing. And I knew at 12 years old I was going to be a golf professional. Now, at that time I thought I was going to be a tour professional, of course, and turned professional at 20. And had limited success playing and ended up teaching most of the time. So I was a PGA professional at 22 years. I guess it's been 22 years I've been a PGA professional. I've been a master professional for 13 years through the PGA of America. And golf has obviously been my passion. It's what I've done, it's my identity. I guarantee you, the only, probably PGA professional, but I know I'm the only master professional with a master professional logo tattooed on my shoulder. That's a true statement. Because I'm very proud of being a PGA master professional and associated with the PGA of America. But that being said, outside of the birth of my children, working with amputees and soldiers and Marines that have been challenged and come back differently is probably the most rewarding and special thing that's ever happened to me. I've been very fortunate to be named the Carolinas PGA Teacher of the Year in 2008. Being a master professional was a milestone for me. I've had several named top teacher in North Carolina. Some things that were very special professionally for me, but the time I get to work with Marines and soldiers that are amputees and or not amputees trumps that many times over. And being asked to come up here to be a part of this last year, Dean and I were introduced to each other by a mutual friend who is a senior long driver that I've taught some, and went to Tennessee last year, hit a few shots and participated, and see where this entire vision goes. And I think it's incorporating more than just amputees, as we see with Anthony bringing the gentleman that he has with the para. I see this going even deeper than that in other categories, because it's an infinite amount. I mean, everyone in here has something to deal with on a daily basis, probably worse than me. My stuff is just visible, but you've got people who have issues on a regular basis that that I can only fathom. I mean, I'm watching people in here eating dinner that just make me say they're special. Having one hand loss is really no big deal. And I have people ask on that regard, but losing my hand was literally, outside of the birth of my 2 children, the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it gives me an opportunity to be with y'all. So, to have, I truly love my soldiers and my Marines. And to have them send me texts or messages on a regular basis that says, you've changed my life by introducing golf to me and giving me an opportunity to re-engage friendships. And I hear some of my friends earlier, I met here last year. Man, I'm such a wuss. It's terrible, man. I'm telling you, I'm really not this bad. Just really, I'm just get this way. I'm good. I just did a video on deep breathing at the Grand Canyon yesterday. True thing. Go to my website. You'll see it.
Down in the canyon?
Actually, I hit a ball into the canyon. I think I hit a goat. So my point is, I don't want to ramble. I'm bad to do that. Stick around and probably hear me do that as well. But I'm very involved as much as I can. I don't think I do much, but when I have while we were talking earlier today, I had a Marine call me that had went through a program that had went. That's my North Carolina education coming through, that had gone through a program that I did at Camp Lejeune a couple of weeks ago. And just to say thank you for introducing me to that. I had one that sent a text just the other day that said, you can't imagine what you've done to change. And he brought his daughter to one of the clinics, and I worked with her and worked with him, and he said the bond there, we watched the LPGA tour last weekend. She wants to go play golf now, and he was in a dark place, and he's a Special Forces soldier that was a career guy, and in fact, another liaison for the Special Forces soldiers had told me he was in a dark place for years, in that he wouldn't even go outside of his home, and then he ended up opening up to me and telling me the same thing, and just introducing him to golf has literally changed his life. I mean, he says, you have no idea what this has done. And so the opportunity to use long drive as a possibility to go further for those who can't compete on a regular basis is pretty special. The other opportunities I think that are underlaying, Dean has heard me harp on this for a year and probably saying that's enough, I got it. But I think it's going to open up doors to challenge people who can't even move. I mean, you can't hit a long drive, you can hit a putt. I mean, I've taken golf clubs and duct taped them to dudes' hands just so they can make a motion and hit it. I mean, I'm literally talking about a dude in a chair that can't move, he can't hold anything, duct taped to his hand. He's hitting a ball this way, 100 yards, and you can see the light in his eyes come on just by feeling that contact. So we had another guy who got hit with a sniper round that went through one ear and out the other, temple and out the other, lost his sight, his feel, his taste. He can't walk, he can't talk, nothing. But we had him hit a golf ball at our inaugural golf tournament in Fort Bragg 2 years ago. He hit it 3 yards. But you saw men break down that were bigger and badder than me. So giving them that light and just a hope to move something forward and touch something and achieve something and compete again, this event is making that difference. And like I say, when it gets bigger and incorporates more avenues and incorporates more people who are whatever the terminology is that goes with all of the quote disabilities. I don't call them disabilities, I just call them challenges, because everybody's got them. Doesn't matter what level, they're just all different. And everybody deals with different stuff on a different day, and everybody's got a story. But when you give someone an avenue to challenge them to compete and re-engage their mind and re-engage their ability and drive to move forward, it's important. And I'm just telling you, I have people tell me that regularly, that golf gives that to them. So I don't want to ramble, bad at doing that. I'm going to end on one or two things here. I actually made a note or two, believe it or not. So, some of the fundraising events that we do on the East Coast are all about trying to bring awareness to the things and the challenges. And I'm talking about wounded veterans in that PTS, or post-traumatic stress, is real. Traumatic brain injury is real. You don't see it, you can't feel it from the person looking in, but that stuff exists. And we, as a community, a country, we were not prepared for what came back and has come back in the last two wars. Not excluding, and I think it's an atrocious thing of what's happened to the ones from Korea, World War II, and Vietnam especially. We don't include them, but we're starting to do that more and more, I think. But the guys that come back now, they probably wouldn't have survived in a war prior to the technology we have. The response time of that magical hour made it possible for a lot of people to come back in ways that we're just not prepared for, and they don't get the help they need. Things like this, communities like this, and these opportunities give them avenues to do what it is to continue going forward. So thank y'all for that. Thanks for listening to me for a moment. But this is, once again, not just about wounded guys and wounded soldiers. This is about general public. There are a tremendous amount of people in here have nothing to do with the military. I have nothing to do with the military. That doesn't mean I don't love them, but there are people who were stupid as I was and standing on the back of an auger and got my shirt caught in a universal joint while I was building my teaching center, which gave me the opportunity to meet these people. There are a lot of people with different stories as well that need the same kind of assistance and the same kind of positive energy to help them engage themselves and go forward as well. So I thank y'all for making this possible. I think I think the sky's the limit when it comes to this. I mean, I can see this going where there are regional qualifiers literally throughout the world to have the opportunity to come to Mesquite and participate. And that is a driving positive force of energy that you spread. And if you've never watched people, I mean, I get emotional talking about some of the people I saw last year hitting golf balls that just blow my mind and say, wow, no one has a reason to complain, because there's always someone out there dealing with more than you're dealing with every day. Thank you.